it's us.
Okay,
Oh, found it. If you type in China and then start the next one.
well, it helps if I don't hear the numbers.
Yeah.
News live.
I think we should have on somewhere now.
Unless it's something.
Oh. 但是我站哪儿呢？Hi, from Washington Smithsonian National Zoo. We're here on June 23rd, and we're here to check out the three pandas that's here. Right behind me, if you see over here, I believe is Mei Xiang, the mother panda who's been here and giving birth to all these little baby cubs. And we're going to be checking out also two other pandas, which are Tian Tian, the male, and also Bebe, who's the cub here. And today we're going to be interviewing other panda enthusiasts, panda fans, to see how they like these pandas. And also we're going to show you exclusive pictures of these pandas, of them playing, eating, and resting. Stay with us. Yeah. First, I'm going to give a little bit of background on the zoo's history with pandas. The Smithsonian National Zoo first received a state gift of two pandas from China in 1972, which is almost like 50 years ago, following former U.S. President Richard Nixon's visit, and has participated in panda loans and exchanges ever since as a gesture of goodwill. The pair, Ling Ling and Xing Xing, which were given to the National Zoo then, had 5 cubs, but none survived. Mei Xiang and Tian Tian are the zoo's second panda pair. Under the terms of the agreement, the U.S. pays China $10 million for a renewable 10-year lease on the couple. Currently, there are 4 U.S. zoos that have pandas on a loan from China. The pandas are in the zoos in Atlanta, in Washington, in San Diego, and also in the city of Memphis. In Atlanta, the family includes another pair of twins, 5-month-old, which were Yalun and Xilun. Their pair are the 6th and 7th offspring of Lunlun and Yang Yang. In San Diego, in the West Coast, in California, the zoo hosts a breeding pair, Baiyun and Gao Gao, and has a single offspring, Xiao Li Wu, born in 2012. And also, we continue on to Memphis. Memphis is home to Yaya, a 16-year-old female, and Lele, a 19-year-old male. The pair has never successfully reproduced, something notoriously problematic for pandas. Females are only fertile for about 24 to 72 hours in any given year, while males often lack ardor. As you can see, well, there's a slight drizzle in Washington today, and it's a very cloudy, no sun at all. But that hasn't stopped Mei Xiang, as you can see in the picture, from coming out and play in her enclosure. This will be her enclosure. You can see trees, grass, and a little man-made mountain where Mei Xiang likes to climb on. Right now, you can see Mei Xiang in the far end of the enclosure, right by the gate of her living room, basically. And she is, I think, interacting with her keepers, who is right now cleaning her bedroom as we speak. We're told that Mei Xiang likes very much to interact with her keepers, with whom she has a strong bond with. Now she's pacing back and forth in the front of her gate, maybe asking her keepers for a enrichment or a toy or some treats. If you are just joining us, a little recap. We are live from Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C. in the USA, home to 3 giant pandas. Today, we're giving you a live tour of them, let you see exclusive pictures of them playing, resting, and just basically enjoying themselves. We have here in the Washington Zoo a female panda, 19-year-old female panda called Mei Xiang, who you are seeing right now, and 2 other pandas called Tian Tian, an adult male, and also Bebe, a cub. Now, as we all know, pandas are among some of the world's most endangered species. According to China's 3rd National Giant Panda Population Survey, by October of 2011, there were fewer than 1,600 pandas living in the wild, and only 333 living in captivity. Giant pandas usually have a lifespan of 18 to 20 years in the wild, and more than 30 years in captivity. Their main habitats are the mountainous regions in the provinces of Sichuan, Shanxi, and Gansu provinces in western China, which makes them very precious, both to China and also adored all around the world. And only about a month ago, the zoo has performed artificial insemination on Mei Xiang, trying to give her, let her have a birth to another cub this year. And well, as we all know, the procedure is incredibly difficult and complicated. And we hope that Mei Xiang, in her age, can successfully give birth to another cub. If you are joining us right now, we're live from Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C., and home to the 3 pandas. And I believe now we have invited 2 panda fans who have decided to come here and visit the pandas today, and maybe share with us their thoughts on the lovely creatures back here. So, hi, good morning.
Morning.
What's your name?
Ken McAvoy.
And Connor McAvoy.
Okay, and today you've come here to look at the panda particularly, or
Correct, because the zoo is the only one that has pandas in our area. So, yes.
do you come and watch the pandas often?
Probably once a year we've stopped in. We live in Philadelphia, so we stop on our way on different vacations and check out the pandas. We've been lucky enough to see some baby pandas a few days after they've been born.
Philadelphia, that's a 3-hour drive.
Correct.
Okay, wow. So you've come a long way. And you're lucky you can see, well, one of the pandas at least is coming out to play today. So since when have you fallen in love with the pandas?
I've enjoyed them my entire life, so, 20, 30 years. And I've seen them here in the Washington Zoo often.
So you've been coming here to Washington Zoo to see the pandas since 2 or 3 decades ago.
Correct.
Wow. What about you?
I only came like 3 years ago to start seeing the pandas, but they're interesting, and I mean, they do a lot of funny things to watch.
Anything you like particularly?
I like when they climb the trees up, and then they kind of hang around. So,
Which one was your favorite of all the pandas that had ever lived in the National Zoo?
Oh, I don't know the names.
Well, there were Tian Tian over there, the male, Mei Xiang, Bao Bao, and Bei, and Tai Shan. I don't know if...
No,
yeah, but
not that familiar with them.
But-
I know their names.
but they all look lovely.
Yes, 100%.
So, has the pandas given you a more understanding about I mean, has the zoo been allowing you to gain more knowledge about the pandas?
Yes. Yes.
Like any interesting tidbits of?
Just gonna say other than food, and right, the bamboo is the food.
Yes.
So other than that, we don't know too much.
I'm sure you are aware they are originally from China. Their natural habitat is in Western China. Maybe would you like one day to go to China and see them?
Definitely. A lot of things I'd like to see in China.
What about you?
yeah, I think that'd be very interesting if you're over there.
Okay.
Too.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Now, as you can see, a keeper has entered the enclosure, maybe picking up trash, maybe rotten leaves or from the grounds to keep the enclosure clean for Mei Xiang. We've been covering the pandas since a long time ago, and we know that the keepers here are very careful in keeping the living quarters of the pandas clean, and so that the pandas will not get sick. But we also know there are other live animals, maybe here in the enclosure, maybe sometimes snakes. But that is just. But as they told us, they are just part of the panda's natural habitat, and is nothing to be afraid of. Well, usually by the panda enclosures, it will be very crowded. You can see tourists all along the side here. But today, as I said, because it's rainy and it's cloudy, the weather's not very good. So I guess not a lot of people turned up to watch the pandas today. Besides, it's still a little early. It is just after 10 in Washington today, and I think more and more tourists are turning up to watch the pandas. Oh, look, the keepers are bringing in bamboos for Mei Xiang. They were just visible. They were just behind the trees. If we turn the camera to them, I think we can see the keepers with the bamboo, the fresh bamboos. Maybe that's for Mei Xiang's food for today. Maybe for breakfast. But the pandas certainly do love their bamboos. We just saw a bunch of them being consumed by Bebe in another enclosure. And also, besides coming here and to watch, the viewers have an opportunity to look at the pandas 24/7 through the panda cams. The zoo has a lot of panda cams set up around the enclosure and also in their living quarters, so that people can monitor the pandas' every move from their homes. And we've learned that a lot of people actually do keep a close watch, rather, on the panda cams, and people often call the zoo if they believe something's wrong, but usually the pandas are just acting normally. Okay, we're happy to see a lot of questions coming in from panda fans around the world, and I'll try my best to answer them. John Diane Heck is asking, she's pacing, Mei Xiang's pacing. Can they comfort her? As we know, pacing is part of her daily routine. That's what she does, and is completely normal. Sometimes she would pace out of agitation. That's when she is maybe feeling towards having when she's pregnant or other reasons. But today, I think, pacing is probably just a normal thing that she's doing. And another question is, what does the panda eat? Does the panda eat grass or meat? Well, we know the panda stable, or it mostly eat bamboo shoots. And because the panda does not have a very good digestive system, which means they have to consume a lot of bamboos each day. And also, apart from bamboos, we know in the wild, the pandas would eat almost anything from small animals to other leaves to other plants. They have a rather wide diet. But here at the zoo in captivity, aside from bamboos, its keepers sometimes would offer them treats like fruitsicles, which basically is a fruit frozen in ice for them to maybe lick and to bite. And also other small trees or carrots is something they like too. And also, of course, there's always sweet potatoes, which the zookeepers tell us is a favorite of the pandas. Right now, you are seeing a TV here that's showing past footages of the panda, of the keepers maybe interacting with the pandas and also treating them with little treats, fruitcakes too, and something. Look, he's throwing the fruitcakes to the panda, which I believe that's either Bebe or Bao Bao. That's just having a real good time with it. We're moving the camera now because we've learned that another panda, Tian Tian, the adult male, has just came out to play, and so we're going to try to move the camera to face his enclosure and let you have a look of another panda over here. The enclosures of Meishan and Tiantian are just next to each other, and there is a small, actually a window right between on the wall that's between them, so that the two of them can actually see each other and interact sometimes. I believe that now you can see Tiantian right in the far back wall of the enclosure. He is with his back to us, and it's unclear that what he is doing right now. Maybe just part of his morning routine. You can see there are also a lot of trees and a man-made mountain, and also all sorts of vegetation in the enclosure. And you can also see on the trees that all the trees has been strengthened by metal, so that when the pandas decide to climb them, they will be safe. Because as we learned, climbing trees is something almost all pandas love to do. Now Tiantian has turned his face toward us. He's walking toward us, maybe looking for some small rodents on the ground. He's slowly walking toward us, and maybe he's ready to face his first batch of tourists for the day. If you're just turning in with us, we're now at the Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington D.C. in the U.S. and today we'll be giving you footages of the three pandas who now currently live here, which is Tian, who are you seeing now, adult male, and Mei Xiang, maybe some other viewer has just seen a female adult, and also Bebe, a cub that has just been born not too long ago, in 2015, I believe. Today we'll be showing you footages of the pandas just enjoying the day, maybe eating, playing, and just having a good time. Today in Washington, the weather is not so good. There was a light drizzle, and it was certainly still very cloudy now. I think there's the sun is just beginning to come out, but that hasn't stopped a lot of tourists, enthusiasts, panda fans from coming here and to look at the adorable pandas. And if whenever you have a question about the pandas, you can always shoot them at us on our Facebook page, and we'll be glad to answer them. As you can see, there are plenty of bamboos here planted around the panda enclosures, so that they would feel home at China, where in their natural habitat there will be a lot of bamboos. There's a lot of species of bamboos in the world, and there are only some sort of bamboos that the panda likes to eat. And as we learned, all the bamboos that the pandas eat here are grown here, homegrown in the U.S., and so they would always be fresh for the pandas to consume each morning. Right now, I believe that we have other panda fans who have come to share with us their thoughts on pandas. Hi, could you introduce yourselves, please?
Stephanie Shelton.
Okay.
I'm Madison Shelton.
And Nick Shelton.
Nick. So where are you from?
We're from Enid, Oklahoma.
That's a very far away. Did you come here to see tour in Washington and maybe have a look at the pandas?
Yes, we came for the pandas.
You came for the pandas. Wow. Okay. So did you have a glimpse of them just now?
Yes, we just saw this one. Is that the male?
Yes.
That's Tian, the male.
Yes.
So so you have been watching the pandas from home, I guess. I'm guessing through the panda cam.
Have you ever watched them on Panda Cam?
Not really. I don't think so. No.
Have you?
But so what made you come here and see the pandas?
We've just seen it on TV, the
Okay.
birth of the baby, and just the fact that we have them on loan from China. So we wanted to come see them while we can.
Okay. So is there anything? Do you know anything about the pandas? Like a basic knowledge of them? Do you know?
What do you know?
Not really that much.
Just that they're just cuddly and lovable.
Considered to be lucky, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
There are 3 pandas today, and maybe I'm hoping that you can see all 3 of them and enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
Enjoy your visit in Washington too. Okay, thanks. It seems for now the panda have gone in to maybe have their breakfast. We know that pandas are not the liveliest of animals. They're pretty lazy, considered pretty lazy by a lot of people. They spend a lot of time eating and sleeping, just hang around all day, not doing anything particularly. We see, and so I think all the pandas have just gone into their enclosures, maybe to play a little bit with the keepers, and maybe enjoy a few fruitsicles or vegetable cakes for their day. And hopefully we can see them out here in a little bit. Actually, there is the other side of this enclosure is their living quarters, their living room, bedrooms, where the tourists can also see. But because the signal is very weak in there, we cannot, unfortunately, we cannot bring you in there to look at the pandas up close. But we'll just stay out here and maybe hopefully show you more of the pandas in their natural living environment. In the meantime, if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them. Pandas is a very mystic creature that has a lot of natures that are unknown to man, and but through vigorous study and research by Chinese scientists, we are starting to learn more and more about them and their natural behaviors. For anyone who's hoping to visit Washington soon, the National Zoo, Smithsonian Zoo, is a must-visit spot in Washington here. It is free. It's free for admission ticket is free, and everyone can just walk in during its open hours. It hosts some of the very really neat, really cute creatures like the pandas, like giraffes, elephants, and it's one of the largest zoos here in the northeastern region of the United States, and and there's also a lot of conservation studies or works being done here, so that anyone who come visit can learn a lot about these animals. And maybe you can hear in the background, the zoo is a favorite visiting spot for many schools who organize students to come here on trips. So there are a lot of small children coming here to learn about the pandas and to establish a bond with these lovable creatures. Now, as the sun has came out, I believe Mei Xiang has come out of her bedroom once again. We're gonna bring the camera to her right now and let you have a glimpse of her sitting there at the far end of her enclosure. And also, you can see how enthusiastic the panda fans are whenever they see a panda.
Come on, watch out for the gentleman.
Apparently, Mei Xiang is playing with an enrichment. That is a collective name for all the trees or toys that the keepers would give to the pandas. I think she has a box, a blue box in her hand, in which I believe there would be water or some kind of other vegetables. If we take a glimpse of on the side here, we can see how how enthusiastic the panda fans are as when they see a panda.
I think that's in my That's the baby panda. No bamboo. I did, but I don't know if it's a
If you are just joining us, we are at the National Smithsonian Zoo in Washington, D.C. in the U.S. Now the time is 10:36 in the morning, and you are with us in the zoo right by the panda enclosures. We're giving you feed pictures of the three pandas that live here. Right now, you are seeing Mei Xiang, the adult female, and we have just shown the adult male, Tian Tian, over there. And it seems that today, the cub, which is Bebe, has not yet come out to play. Oh, look, the Mei Xiang's moving, and she has gone back. Maybe the number of viewers and spectators and also their energy has spooked her a little bit. Maybe she's gone back for a little rest. The reason we're doing this global broadcasting of Pandas Live is that because tomorrow, as we learned, China will be giving two other pandas to the Berlin Zoo, and which is a very significant move, and also a bit to show friendship between the two countries. A little bit of background here: the giant panda is one of the most endangered species in the world and can only be found in China. Therefore, loaning pandas to other nations is of profound symbolic significance in the world of Chinese foreign relations. China's panda diplomacy started from the 1950s, when China sent pandas as gifts to countries with whom it was friendly, with no strings attached. In 1957, the giant panda Ping Ping was bestowed as a national gift to the Soviet Union in a symbolic gesture of thanks for recognizing the founding of People's Republic of China. With the Soviet Union being the first country in the world that established this diplomatic relationships with China, in 1959, An, another panda, was sent to Moscow Zoo to provide company for Ping Ping. China gave away another 5 giant pandas to Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or DPRK, from 1965 to 1980. The most successful donation was of 2 pandas to the U.S. in 1972, which was announced during President Richard Nixon's historic visit to China, which marked the beginning of normalizing Sino-U.S. relations. Over 20,000 people visited the pandas the first day they were here on display, and an estimated 1.1 million visitors came to see them the first year they were here in the United States. News of the Cuddly gifts created a sensation in America as zoos from the Bronx to San Diego fiercely lobbied the White House to become the pandas' new homes. Right now, there are 4 zoos in the United States that host the pandas, which are the zoo here in Washington, D.C., a zoo in Atlanta, in San Diego, and also, of course, in Memphis. Okay, we're now bringing the camera again to Tian Tian, who seems to be a little bit more active now. We're seeing him pacing in the yard. Maybe he has just had his morning coffee or something, but he's looking much more lively now than before. I think he's maybe in a more playful mood. We know from the keepers that Tian Tian is definitely a panda that loves to play, and is one of the most playful pandas here at the zoo, and most of the zookeepers absolutely adore him. Now, as we know, there are 1 adult male panda, which is Tian Tian, who you are seeing now, and 1 adult female panda, or Mei Xiang, who you were just seeing moments ago. We learned from the zookeepers that a little funny fact about them is that Tian Tian, the male, actually really likes Mei Xiang, but unfortunately, Mei Xiang often does not return the graces, does not return the feelings. So is this one-sided love story has been going on at the Washington National Zoo for the past decade, and every year when they're ready to mate, Tian Tian has always been very enthusiastic about going over there and interacting with Mei Xiang, but Mei Xiang has always been a little bit more reluctant. So artificial insemination or performed on Mei Xiang more often than not to make sure that she has a chance to conceive each year. Look, now the panda Tian Tian is maybe climbing on the barks on trees. He's in a playful mood, obviously. He's climbing onto the man-made rocks, the mountains, and maybe for a better pose in front of the viewers. If you're just joining us, we're here at the Washington National Smithsonian Zoo and in the U.S. and now it is almost 10:40, and we are here on June 23rd. Today the weather is not very good. The sun has just came out. We're showing you pictures of 3 pandas here. Tian Tian, which is just behind the artificial mountain that you were seeing, and also Mei Xiang and Bei Bei, if we can. In a little bit, we'll definitely be bringing the camera to them. Now, the pandas obviously will not stay in the one spot, and they're constantly moving in their enclosures, maybe to play with something they find, or maybe to eat some more food. So we're going to move the camera around quite a bit so that you can always give you the best picture for the pandas. Obviously, the panda has its back to us. Maybe it's just feeling a little blue. Maybe it's not, doesn't feel like facing give us a clear shot of him. It's unclear what the panda is doing now, what Tian has in hand, but I think he's definitely enjoying himself. Well, as another viewer just said, maybe he's in Zen, maybe he's meditating, maybe thinking back on his. Oh no, he's chewing. Oh look, I guess he has found some bamboos or maybe some fresh carrots on the ground. The zookeepers has left him. I think he's maybe enjoying that. We know that the pandas do not have a good digestive system. I'm sorry. So that they need to consume a lot of vegetation, a lot of bamboos, or a lot of vegetables each day, and not a lot of those consumption were consumed by the body actually. So they have to eat a lot, and they have to eat constantly. We know that like dozens of pounds of food were left for each pandas each evening, so they would not go hungry at night. They would always find food nearby whenever they feel like eating, and they would find food. And of course, when they're done eating, one of their most favorite things to do would be sleeping. So essentially, a panda spends his day mostly between eating and sleeping, and also a little bit of playing and interacting with the zookeepers.
Another panda.
Yeah. He's a little shy.
For any of you who've just joined us, we're here at the National Museum in Washington D.C. in the U.S. and we're bringing you an hour of live images of the three pandas that live here. Now you're looking at Tian, the male adult here, who is playing in the enclosure. We're bringing the camera slowly to him. You can see him there in the far back. Maybe we can have a zoom in a little bit. There we go. You can see him more clearly. As I was saying, we're bringing you an hour of live images from the pandas as a part of a global initiative to show you giant pandas from China around the world. I believe the reason for this campaign is that China has announced that it would give 2 more pandas to the Berlin Zoo just tomorrow, and hopefully more and more pandas will be available to panda lovers all around the world, appear in more zoos around the world, and have more people enjoy their cuddliness or their loveliness around the world. I've learned that as part of this global initiative, we have already been showing pandas that live in Seoul, in South Korea, and also in Tokyo Zoo in Japan. Now there are dozens of pandas that live in zoos around the world as gifts of the Chinese government and as the goodwill of the Chinese people. As a species, a popular species that only reside in China, all of the other zoos, the zoos in other countries, needs to have the pandas come from China. And as part of a Chinese diplomacy, China only lend out pandas to the countries with which it has a very good relationship.
See them? Where did it go? Where did the panda go?
I found the bears.
Bears, where are they? I don't know what a panda is.
Hi, would you like to appear on our camera and maybe speak a few your thoughts on pandas? Okay, could come over here, please. Now we have invited three adorable panda fans here who would like to maybe talk to us a little bit. Hi, what are your names?
Mine is Savannah.
Savannah, hi,
Yeah.
good morning. And you?
Alexis.
Alexis.
Scarlett.
Wow, okay. Did you come here to see the pandas?
Yes.
How do you like the pandas?
They're cute and I like their names.
You like the names?
Yeah.
What about their names?
That they sound like they're from Chinese, and pandas are from China.
Okay, what about you?
Uh,
What do you know about pandas?
that they eat bamboo and they live in China.
Okay, that's good enough.
I like pandas. Like I like the colors
The color?
that it mixes.
The mixes, black and white, always the best colors, huh? So do you know how many pandas that live here today?
2. 1. Yeah.
1.
4.
3. There are actually 3 pandas. 1 here, 1 there, and a small cub over there. I hope you can see all 3 today. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for. Thank you.
I don't think the snakes are around here.
And Robert put up with it.
Hi, it's almost 11 and we have to wrap up over here now. I hope we've let you enjoy the pandas here at Washington Smithsonian National Zoo. Unfortunately, we're only able to show you 2 of the pandas, which are Meixiang and Tian. And we're now gonna give the signal to our colleagues in Mexico City, who are going to show you more pandas over there. So stay tuned.